Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, make or break budget. Will the Liberals receive enough votes, or is there another federal election coming? Crossing concerns, neighbors pushing for changes at an intersection where a woman was killed. And matchstick models building international and local landmarks using a household item.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
The Alberta Federation of Labour, alongside advocates for transgender people, say they believe the province is planning to once again invoke the notwithstanding clause. This time, they say it will be used for a bill that affects children. CTV's Brendan Purdy joins us in studio now with the latest. So, Brendan, this is tied to Bill 9, which hasn't been tabled yet. What can you tell us about it?
Well, Matt, not a whole lot. The legislature's public order paper indicates that Bill 9 is scheduled to be tabled this week by Justice Minister Mickey Amory. It's titled the Protecting Alberta's Children Statutes and Amendment Act. People speaking outside the legislature today believe some of the language in the bill will infringe on the rights of trans youth. They also believe it could be enacted using the notwithstanding clause. The province used that same clause a few weeks ago to force teachers back to the classroom after a 3-week strike. In September, the Canadian Press obtained an internal provincial memo showing Premier Danielle Smith directing officials to invoke the Charter's notwithstanding clause to amend 3 laws that affect transgender people.
By using the notwithstanding clause, the UCP is basically cutting the courts out of the equation, and that's cutting a big part of our democracy out of the equation. And so for that reason, everyone should be concerned. This is clearly not just about trans kids. They used the notwithstanding clause against workers and teachers just a couple of weeks ago. That's why we're here, because if they're going to use it against workers, if they're going to use it against vulnerable groups like trans kids, who's next?
Minister Amory says Bill 9 will help vulnerable children and teens.
We're going to use every single legal and constitutional tool that we have to protect our children. We look at this from the lens of our children, what harm they might suffer, they might stand to suffer. We'll take every step available to make sure that they're well protected.
2 laws are currently in effect. One involves the use of pronouns in schools, while the other bans trans athletes 12 and older from competing in female leagues. The province's other law, prohibiting doctors from providing gender-affirming treatment for trans people under 16, is currently before the courts. We expect to hear more about Bill 9 later this week. Matt?
All right, Brendan Purdy live in studio tonight. Thank you. A group aiming to recall dozens of UCP MLAs says more of its applications have been approved. Operation Total Recall is currently collecting signatures to recall Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides and Airdrie East MLA Angela Pitt. The group's website now lists approvals for 10 other MLAs, including Cabinet Ministers Rajan Sawhney, Dale Nally, Miles McDougall, and Speaker Rick McIver. We reached out to every minister on that list. In response, the UCP caucus sent us a statement saying, quote, the recall process should not be used to overturn democratic elections just because an individual disagrees with government policy, end quote. Elections Alberta says confirmation of approved recall applications will be published on its website following the required timelines. A woman is dead after she was hit by a vehicle while walking her dog on the weekend in northeast Edmonton. Police say the 58-year-old woman was rushed to hospital where she died. She was in a marked crosswalk on 153rd Avenue when she was hit just before 9 a.m. Officers say a 36-year-old woman was turning left on 153rd Avenue from 82nd Street when she hit the woman. Police say the dog ran away but was found unharmed and later returned home. The driver stayed at the scene and was not injured. Speed and alcohol are not believed to be factors. This is the 30th traffic death in Edmonton this year. People living in southwest Edmonton will bring their concerns about traffic in their neighborhood to city councillors and the mayor tonight. A town hall on the issue gets underway in less than 90 minutes from now. CTV's Evan Kenny joins us now from where that meeting will be held this evening. So, Evan, what's led to tonight's town hall?
Matt, people here say they've reached out to the city in every way possible about traffic in the area, and that for years, including multiple complaints about an intersection at Edgemont Way and Edgemont Boulevard. Now, that's where 3 months ago, a 65-year-old woman was hit while crossing the street by a pickup truck and was killed crossing that intersection. The woman was walking with her grandson crossing Edgemont Way when she was hit by a truck turning left. One police officer told us he pulls over 10 cars on average here daily for a number of reasons, including speed and stop sign violations. The city is using the EPS investigation into this collision to complete a safety review of the intersection. Before the crash, the city added enhanced pavement markings in 2024 in an attempt to improve safety. The area's councillor says it's important for her to hear from the people who are affected.
This is my week 3 on the job, and so it's an amazing opportunity to start and listen from scratch, right, and not going in with any assumptions of what has been done in the past. We're always willing to look at new evidence, new things that come to fruition.
Councillor Tu Parmar and Mayor Andrew Knack will be in attendance tonight. People we've spoken to hope to see the city add in speed bumps or traffic lights at that intersection. The town hall runs from 6:30 until 8:30. Matt?
All right, CTV's Evan Kenny live tonight. Thank you. Breaking news now. It was a make-or-break budget for Mark Carney's government today. Just moments ago, the Liberal minority managed to get the votes it needs to pass the federal budget and avoid an early election. The Liberals are 2 seats shy of the majority they need to pass the budget on their own. Had the vote failed, Canadians would have been sent back to the polls just months after electing this government in April. Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives made it clear they would not support the budget. Same goes for the Bloc Québécois. There were a handful of combinations of yes votes and abstentions from opposition MPs to pass the budget. In the end, Green Party leader Elizabeth May voted for the budget, and at least 2 NDP members of Parliament abstained from the vote. People are getting a chance to experience Rogers Place outside of game days or concerts.
All right, so we're going to head into the star dressing rooms right now. And so, like I mentioned, this is where all the celebrities, when they come to town, Katy Perry, Brad Paisley, this is where they get ready before a big concert.
Tours of the arena are now being offered, taking people to places typically not accessible to the public. Some of the stops on the tour include the Oilers Hall of Fame room and the view high above the rink from the press box. For hockey fans, the highlight of the tour is likely sitting on the players' bench and seeing where they walk from the ice to the dressing room. The dressing room itself, though, is off limits.
It's pretty rare that we don't have somebody in the Oilers dressing room, whether that's players or coaches. So at this time, to keep the tours readily available throughout the month, we have held back on the dressing room. You know, it could be something we include in the future.
Tours are not available when it's a game day or there's an event happening. Tickets for the Classic Tour run $20 for youth and $30 for an adult.
Roll on my Segway. I know in my heart they think I'm white and nerdy. Just too white and nerdy.
Weird Al Yankovic will bring his musical parodies to Rogers Place next year. His Bigger and Weirder tour will stop in Edmonton September 1st. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Josh will likely be the first guy in line at the box office for that one.
Weird Al. Love Weird Al.
It's been a while since I've heard White and Nerdy. Josh, the weather not looking too white out there right now. Still no snow out there just yet.
Not yet, but by this point tomorrow, we probably have some snow flying around in the Edmonton area. It's 0 downtown Edmonton right now. It was a little cooler than yesterday. 8 degrees for a high yesterday. Today, just 1, which is even cooler than we were anticipating this morning. Thought we'd get to about 3 or 4 degrees. Stony Plains at 2. -5 for the low this morning. A couple of degrees above average and right around average for a daytime high this afternoon. I think we'll be around the freezing mark again tomorrow. We'll probably start the day at about -7 and then get to about -1 or 0 tomorrow afternoon. There's your rain falling in southern parts of the province. Here's the cloud cover in the Edmonton area. We had some really thick, soupy fog in southern parts of the Edmonton region and just off to the south, although the fog advisories were lifted earlier this afternoon. There's a bit of a break in the cloud and then some more cloud off to the west-southwest. So At times through this evening, you may see some gaps in the cloud cover. For the most part, though, it's going to be more cloud than clear sky. -3 by 9 p.m. Thankfully, the wind stays light. -7 tomorrow morning with clouds increasing. And then tomorrow afternoon and right around supper time, we've got some snow rolling through. Now, at this point, it looks like it could be anywhere between a dusting to maybe as much as 2 or 3 centimeters worth of snow by the mid-evening hours. So we'll take a closer look at that. There's heavier snow potentially for areas south of the city. All that and your 5-day forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, driving delays. Businesses worried another construction closure will leave a bridge backed up.
Anything that makes it a little bit more challenging for people to get here is challenging for us.
Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
Work will soon begin on another bridge that crosses the North Saskatchewan in Edmonton. The city says construction on the Dawson Bridge in Riverdale will cause minimal interruption. Others, though, worry about creating yet another obstacle to downtown. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
We think that Edmonton really loves the little brick.
Jenny McAllister is a partner with River Valley Company that owns several Riverdale businesses, Dog Patch, Bread and Butter, and their first venture, Little Brick.
Our hope is that we can service all of Edmonton, and some people have to drive a little bit to get here, and other people can walk down the street.
Driving to Little Brick will soon get a little more complicated. The 113-year-old Dawson Bridge that connects Riverdale to Forest Heights will soon be undergoing a refurbishment that the city says will extend the life of the bridge for years to come. McAllister can appreciate the need to keep bridges functioning, but says it won't help people get to Riverdale.
Anything that makes it a little bit more challenging for people to get here is challenging for us.
Area Councillor Ann Stevenson says city staff has worked to avoid a full closure amid the number of other construction projects around the city.
Moving forward, I think it's going to be very important that we continue to fund this work really consistently so that we don't have this pileup of deferred maintenance.
The city says starting the week of November 24th, construction crews will use a barge system on the North Saskatchewan River for the first months of the project. The city says traffic won't be impacted until early 2026, when the bridge will undergo temporary single-lane alternating closures for about a month. Downtown Revitalization Coalition Executive Committee member Cheryl Watson says even a month of partial closures won't help the crush getting in and out of the downtown core.
Better proactive planning so that you don't have so many dependent routes that are all impacted at once, and they are open to that. So we're looking forward to future improvements, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Back at Little Brick, McAllister says she's hopeful the bridge work won't deter longtime customers from visiting.
We really hope and trust that Edmonton loves their local businesses and will put in a little bit of extra effort to get here.
Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Health Sciences Association of Alberta has endorsed a new deal for its members. The HSAA says after formal mediation last week, the mediator made a recommendation. Its board of directors is unanimously endorsing it. An electronic ratification vote begins Thursday and will run through next Tuesday. The HSAA had floated the idea of a strike vote if a deal was not reached. Meanwhile, the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees was expecting Alberta Health Services to present a new offer to its members over the weekend. The union says it has nothing new to share about that just yet. Last week, the AUPE president said if a deal was not reached by today, members were ready to take job action. New research from the University of Alberta suggests women are 3 times more likely to develop long COVID symptoms than men. Tests were carried out on patients who developed long COVID symptoms 1 year after their initial infection. Researchers found higher levels of certain proteins in female patients' blood due to gut damage. They say these proteins may drive chronic inflammation, a contributor to long COVID.
Probably at the earliest stage of infection, women are more prone to have gut-associated COVID, because you might have heard that some people, when they get SARS-CoV-2 infection, they have gastrointestinal symptoms.
Research also suggests women had a more rapid immune response to their initial COVID infection than men. That could result in tissue damage in the long run. Still to come tonight on CTV News, Best in Barbecue. A business wins an international culinary competition using local flavors and food.
But to bring home the victory for Canada, for Edmonton, was pretty cool.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Tuesday in your morning, how to save money on holiday gifts by making them yourselves, plus advice to make end of life easier for your family, and the latest pitch from the group behind the River Valley Gondolas.
Ski hills in and around Edmonton are working hard to get their runs ready amid above-average temperatures of late. Rabbit Hill Snow Resort says snow making takes 6 to 8 weeks. It's had to work around warm days, which have been the norm in November the last few years.
We're usually running and then we shut down and then we run again. So, you know, we're always investing in new technology for snowmaking so that we can make more snow at warmer temperatures. If we could see those, you know, evening temperatures of -15, that would be amazing.
He says it takes roughly 150 to 190 million liters of water to cover every run.
He's not asking for much, just -15.
Just -15.
Be nice.
A little bit of that wish list will be covered tomorrow, though, Josh. Sounds like we got some snow on the way.
Yeah, and then it's going to warm up, and temperatures will be back 4 or 5 degrees above zero, it looks like, by the end of this week. So that's not the help they're looking for. The help they're looking for comes Monday, Tuesday of next week as some significantly colder air starts to drop in. There's what it looks like outside right now with the River Valley Sky Cam. It's brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Mostly cloudy skies, and we're at 0 right now, which is where we've been for most of the day. We got to 0.6. We'll round that up to +1 for a high. -4 in Grand Prairie. You got a +1 in Lloydminster, 0 in Fort McMurray, and 3 degrees in Red Deer. There's the cloud cover hanging over the Edmonton region. Just off to the west of the city, it was kind of breaking down a little bit. And so, as we said, occasionally there may be some breaks in the cloud through this evening, but overnight tonight, it'll all thicken up once again. And it's an overcast day for tomorrow. There's your showers across the south, the first of 2 low pressure systems, one going through today. The next one goes through tomorrow. And again, I think most of the precipitation stays to the south of us. -11 in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning, -12 in Grand Prairie, -6 in Red Deer. Here in Edmonton, we'll drop to about -7 for a morning low. -1 in Fort McMurray and 2 degrees into Grand Prairie. Across the south, there's your snow in the forecast for Red Deer, 5 degrees in Jasper and 0 in Lloydminster. I'm going to take you through the next 24 hours here, and then we're going to back things up. Somehow Futurecast disappeared on me. -7 tomorrow morning with light wind. We'll get to about 0 for a daytime high tomorrow afternoon with a high of about 4 degrees, or around 4 p.m. 0 for a daytime high. As far as how much snow is expected to roll through, well, it looks like south of the city, you're probably looking at anywhere between maybe 2 to 5 centimeters worth of snow. Here in Edmonton, it's a dusting to maybe 2 or 3 centimeters. We're going to be on the edge of this. This is tomorrow morning. There's your snow from Jasper south through the mountain parks around Calgary. You might actually see a little bit of patchy freezing rain or a little rain-snow mix early in the day, even mid-afternoon. Areas around Calgary and off to the east in that pink zone could see some patchy freezing rain. This is 3 p.m. and you can see the bulk of the snow is still off to the southwest and south of the Edmonton area, but it's starting to encroach on the Edmonton area. And then your drive home tomorrow is probably impacted by snow. The drive in tomorrow morning to work, no problem. The drive home, depending on how thick these pockets of snow are, could certainly be affected. By the time we get to sort of mid-evening, somewhere around 8, 9 p.m., most of that snow, if not all of it, moves off to the east, and we'll see some clearing. It looks like by Wednesday, mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies in the forecast for most of the province Wednesday afternoon. So 0 tomorrow, pretty similar temperatures to what we had today. There's your snow in the afternoon. We'll wait to see how much actually rolls through the Edmonton area. As we said, there's a much better chance for some accumulation south of the city than there is in the city. We're kind of on the edge of the potential accumulations there. 2 on Wednesday with some sunshine, 2 degrees on Thursday, and we're back to 4 or 5 for a high Friday, Saturday. So yeah, even if we do get 1 or 2 centimeters of snow by late tomorrow, it's probably gone by the end of the week. Chance of a few flurries late Saturday. but it's really early next week that things start to turn. Good chance of snow Monday into Tuesday, and daytime highs in the -5 to -10 range. Look at that, even a -15 for the ski hills.
All right, Josh, thanks very much. A barbecue business in Sherwood Park brought plenty of local flavor to an international competition. The owners of You Need a BBQ took home a blue ribbon at the American Royal World Series of Barbecue in Kansas earlier this month. They won the top prize in the potato category for their warm potato salad made with their signature seasoning and Nisku-based Little Potato Company potatoes. They say it's exciting to bring Edmonton area products to a world stage.
It's an honor to represent Canada at every competition that we go to, but to bring home the victory for Canada, for Edmonton, was pretty cool.
And it's just a huge, big rush, and then you're just like, you can't believe it, and then there was a lot of yelling and screaming and crying and everything, and then we finally went up.
You can find the award-winning potato salad recipe and the story on our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
From the Tower Bridge in England to the Taj Mahal in India, a man in Edmonton is bringing international landmarks to life in his basement. As CTV's Nara Manisa shows us, his next landmark project is one closer to home.
Esmond Warren prepares a piece of wood before heading to his workbench.
Here again, you see, you build this one piece flat.
What started off as a project to keep him busy has turned into a passion.
Our daughter brought me the first kit as a Christmas present. I thought, good grief. Yeah, I was not too impressed with it at the start, but once I got into it, I really enjoyed it.
Warren recreates landmarks using small matchstick-sized wood pieces. His projects include the Tower Bridge in London, India's Taj Mahal, and the Notre Dame Cathedral of Paris. A special project in honor of his granddaughter, who died of complications of cystic fibrosis.
When she passed away, she left me with the instructions that I should finish it for her. So I was very proud to be able to do that.
Not all are famous landmarks.
This was the dairy barn, and there's the silo over there.
This is a replica of their family farm in New Sarepta, with one important detail.
Our son came here one day and saw it and said, well, where's Mum? Because Mum always cut the grass. So then I had to go and make a little tractor and put her on it.
Esmond's next project is the Alberta legislature.
That one isn't made with matchsticks. I cut the wood for that one, and I'm building that one from scratch. No blueprints.
The 87-year-old says each project takes 200-plus hours to finish.
She kind of rolls her eyes when I go down to the man cave. And I say, well, it won't be long. And, of course, she says I'm twice as long as I said I was going to be.
This hobby may be time-consuming. However,
I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't enjoying it.
A labor of love, one landmark at a time. Nara Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.